Hello everyone, welcome to the Sunday live stream. Supposedly it's streaming now. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna color here. And I wanted to talk about a little on why to read comics or manga. When I say comics, I usually include European comics, Japanese comics, Mexican, American comics, whatever. Comics you can find. So it's not exclusive. And something I wanted to talk about is because there are many creators, and this is not me scolding anyone. You're gonna hear the type of person I am about reading those stories, even though there's so many people that create comics but do not read any comic, which is funny. However, I wanted to talk about some reasons to do it that go beyond the support other people. Like I'm gonna talk about selfish reasons to do it. Number one is it allows you to learn how to do comics for sure. You're seeing exactly how other people took certain creative decisions regarding writing, layout, level of detail on their drawings. If you're following a story that's been created live, you can see how long they're taking doing it, how many hiatus they do, because of their decisions. Our decisions, I'm gonna say, because I have gone into hiatus lots of times. I think I have already talked a lot about detail of comics, so I'm not gonna go super deep into that. Oh, I need to correct that. Before I color, I should check the details instead of going directly to coloring. I'll do it in a bit. But yeah, you also can see even other comic artist mistakes. So I feel like that helps a lot with perfectionism. Because you're gonna be seeing amazing art, yes. A great story that you love, yes. And still you're gonna find mistakes, either because they were in a hurry, or maybe an assistant screwed up, who knows. But you see those mistakes are there, and still the comic works. You still enjoy the chapter. Nobody dies. So I think that helps a lot with perfectionism. It's funny because you may think, and some people may think, that my level of detail and the fact that I like to color my comic, I have definitely chosen some creative direction that makes me take a long time in just a single page. But I don't feel like I'm very perfectionistic, funny enough. Like, if the lines are not perfect, if there's a little continuity error, maybe I won't care much. It depends on what stage of the process I am. Like I just said right now, I should check some basic inking mistakes. Also, I like, or at least I tried for this page, to try to not go super detailed with the sketch before I jumped into inking. So that made me go faster. But definitely there's lines that if you look up close, they're not as pretty as they would have been doing the sketch completely and thoroughly. So that's one of the main things. Like, there's so many doubts that especially beginner comic artists have. But all of us, honestly, in whatever stage, that once you read enough types of comics, you may find the answer. Like, I have no idea how to, I don't know, do backgrounds that do not look super fake. And then you see that some people have indeed 3D objects and they draw over it. There are people that do not care and use programs that look slightly 2D. like SketchUp, sorry. Little things like that. Or just some creative decisions that you can see in manga. Like, oh, I don't have to be perfect when drawing comedy. Part of comedy is actually the charm of just flowing. So that's a couple of the reasons. Besides the fact that you're supporting other authors, of course, which is a cute reason, but I know that we're all very busy. Doesn't seem like enough for some people. So I'm saying the selfish reasons. Also, it will make you very motivated to work on your own stuff. The more I want to do comics is the more I'm reading similar stories. Like, I see beautiful art and I'm just inspired and I want to do my own. And that's how many artists start, just seeing other people creating. So, yeah, that's another reason. What other thing? I think it reminds you also to get your head out of a system. Like, I have perfected, let's say, my comic making system, but every once in a while, it's very useful to get my head out of there and realize what, not really mistake, but what choices I'm making, that I haven't stopped to think about a different way, a creative different way to do the same thing. Like, for example, hello Curious Comics. Thank you so much for appreciating the comic page. And hello, Akiso. How are you? How are your projects? I'm so glad I'm checking. What was I saying? I forgot. Oh yeah, like, I was noticing that my comic pages right now for this story are slightly too vibrant or colorful, maybe. And it's supposed to be a slightly, very, very slightly darker story. I'm gonna try to have a happy ending, but it's not even super fully guaranteed. But if it flows well enough where a happy ending is still a good story, I'll try to do it. That's my main goal. I remember I even had a discussion yesterday with some members of my writers club yesterday, that having a happy ending doesn't mean your story is bad. You just have to make it work. And funny enough, there's many versions of this story, and there's versions where it has a sad ending, and there's other versions where it's just abrupt, and there's other versions, which is what I'm trying to push for. And my beta readers, I guess, will tell me if it flows or not. I'm trying to have a happy ending. And I feel like I was very influenced by my love for Jane Austen. This is not even a romance story, so I just thought it was cute how there's this movie with Anne Hathaway called Becoming Jane, where she, as an author, even has this theme of, oh, happy endings are so cliche. Like, why do we do happy endings? But this movie, I'm not gonna spoil it. I guess I basically am. But I'm not gonna give details at all. But for some reasons, some of her happy ending couldn't happen. She definitely became a successful author, which I think it's a very cool happy ending. But some things on her life didn't turn out the way she wanted. And one of the reasons she wrote these happy endings were like, well, there's a lot of reality where things do not go well. So this is something we can control to just enjoy, celebrate. And I thought that was a very cute reason. And I thought me as an author, even if I'm not writing romance, which is a genre that's characterized precisely to have happy endings, even if from a marketing standpoint, people are buying this romance expecting happy endings. There's a difference between tragic romance, because that's tragedy. That's not really the main genre. Like the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. It even says in the title. You know what you're expecting. Yes, there's going to be a romance, but you know that you're mainly reading a tragedy. Meanwhile, if you read whatever romantic novel, you sure should fulfill the promises you're making to the reader. Well, that's besides the point. But yeah, okay, whatever. I feel like every time I draw and try to talk, my brain gets scattered, but I feel like anyone that has worked or do co-workings with other people while drawing knows exactly what that's like. So if you have any doubt or you get angry that I didn't finish a thought, you can just write it in the comments. That will help. I have a little notes of what I'm gonna talk about during the live streams. Like I have a post-it with some ideas. But unless it's there, I'm gonna forget, possibly. Okay, how is people doing? Curious Comics says, I like realistic endings, even if they are grim. Yeah, I have grown to enjoy them too, in some stories. Again, I think it depends on the promise the author is making to the reader. But there's stories where you know it's just not gonna end well. And I think that's fair. The author needs to satisfy the promise they're making. Even if that promise is, this is unexpected. Like, it could be unexpectedly good or unexpectedly bad. Okay, Agiso says, I'm probably going to do some comic character reference sheets when I get off work. Probably. I'm going to mix in finishing all the illustrations from years ago throughout the week as well to warm up. That's very cool. I remember doing those comic character sheets once, but I'm a little lazier about them compared to other parts of the process, but I admire the people that do them so much. Are you gonna include like rotations and height differences? I love watching that stuff, even if I don't do it. I have literally books where I have spent lots of time just watching that. I want to see it actually. Like if you ever want to share, if it's private, that's fine too. Depends what part of the process you're in. Yeah. I think that's very, very cool. I remember, the thing with me is that every time I have done character sheets, when I'm doing the story, they end up changing a lot. Like the way I used to draw them doesn't satisfy me. I guess I'm not as good as other people are to design their characters with as much, how do I say this, decisiveness. I wonder how you do it, Akiso, or other people. I do have a very specific image of how my characters look, but it was definitely a little influenced too in just the way I have been drawing them so many times over. But when I have like a long cast, like my next comic it's gonna be, I don't have a specific thing in mind. I guess for some of them I already do because I have been trying to write that story over the years, but that's the key. I've been trying to do something action-based because I plan so much that I try to not stay there. But yeah, okay, regarding reading other comics, I think it also shows you the different markets and how people appreciate them. Yesterday I went to a friend's book presentation. He literally booked a library, a public government library, for free, actually, to present his book to friends, strangers, family. There was a camera that I don't fully understand if that was TV, but that was cool. They had microphones and everything. And he was presenting his story that he's gonna self-publish. And he's doing like some kind of Patreon, but in real life thing where you can support him with like a sort of a subscription. And depending on that, you get rewards. And you get chapters. Like you get some chapters in each little booklet. And meanwhile, that way he's motivated to deliver, to edit this story that he's been writing for a long time. And also, I feel like it's cool that you're holding the booklet on your hand of the person you're supporting. Not only, I mean, things online are wonderful, and I'm glad that I have this community online, or honestly, most of the things I consume are online, but this was a very cool thing. Reminds me of when Curious Comics sent me his comic, and it was so, I never get any packages sent. I feel like that's more common in the United States to have this type of mail. Because besides Amazon, I almost never receive anything like that. It was a very cool thing to hold his physical Japanese inspired manga on my hands. And yeah, my friend's story is also, he took so long writing it, it's practically a novel now. My friend is called David. Gonna present his story, I guess, but it's in Spanish. I think he has good skills as an author. Not all my friends have that. They have different strengths. Some of them are better writers than artists. Some of them are incredibly good at both in a way that I really admire. And some other ones stand out in other ways. But just, you learn so much from people. And that happens too when you read so many different stories and comics. Actually, I've been trying to learn how to render. Finally. I'm doing it behind the scenes because right now I'm in the copying stage, so I'm not ready at all. I'm definitely not on the stage where I can show the art because it's just a copy. I cannot claim that I did anything fully myself. Not yet, anyway. I'm using it as a means to study. And I'm actually forcing myself to copy because actually, you know how many artists, when they're little, start with fan art? I was never like that. I don't know why. But I have never fully understood. When I have drawn fan art, it has always been for clout. It hasn't been because I was dying to draw someone else's art. I think many people learned very well because of copying this, copying. So this is not me feeling superior because I never did that. I was just weird in that way. And I feel like that actually may have hindered some progress. Who knows? I think when I was young, no, but right now I'm really trying to just copy and not try to do my own thing yet, because I really want to absorb the artist techniques and what they're doing. Oh, I need to color her freckles. So, well, I'm trying to render, and the other day, I'm starting with very simple things. One step at a time. And it took me like 3 hours, maybe. And I was so surprised because I think I have been drawing comic pages so long that I was amazed that it took me so little time. I was like, oh my god, this took less than 8 hours? Wow. I don't know how much time I take on my pages, but it's way, way more, at least. I do remember that for one of my covers, it took me like 20 hours. This page, I don't know how long it took because I just know that I work on it on every space, free time that I have. But I know it takes very long. Even though this page may have taken even less because I was able to reuse drawings, which was great. These backgrounds, you can even see the color that's different. It's because that was already made. So I just have to do the rest. Isn't it great? Okay, sorry, I haven't been looking at the comments. I will look right now. Agiso says he already started drawing the first chapter. Oh yeah, but you have to get to know your characters for sure. I think that's more motivating when you already started the story and you're making the characters afterwards, even though maybe some people wouldn't recommend it, but that's how I would definitely do it, 100%. Yeah, detailed reference sheets either. Yeah, I feel like we're more motivated for story, and that's what happens with comics versus character designers that basically only do characters as a specialty, and they do an amazing job. Just saying, everyone has their own niche. Curious Comics is saying thank you because I mentioned his manga. But honestly, I'm thankful to you, Curious Comics. You have been here from the beginning. And I think it's very cool to have people that are also doing comics. Okay, there are some colors I will need to fix. If you see these divisions, it's because I'm really trying to be able to reuse these backgrounds over and over, because lots of things will happen in this cabin. So there's no point on me drawing so much the same thing over and over. Okay. This is fun. But yeah, going back to the rendering journey, I'm excited to continue learning. I'm already... I feel like this happens a lot with comics. And let's talk about this, actually. I think comics is one of the best ways to keep your art good, because you're doing so many things. I feel like with this comic, I'm actually... things I need to draw for this comic. I need to know how to draw cats, bears, landscapes. I'm challenging myself. The first version of this comic had horrible backgrounds, which are hilarious to look at. I should include them at some point in one of the live streams. I think you can laugh with me. So I'm really trying to be way better than I was and to have a consistent style. Like, I know now that instead of experimenting on each page as much as I was doing and trying to, it's always ink first, color second. Not as much trying to paint digitally, which is not my strength, but I'm working on my strength, which is the sketching and drawing more than the color. The color is just the final thing. But I had definitely been missing practicing bigger drawings, portraits. Now that I'm learning how to render, I'm also learning other ways to color that I had forgotten existed. Like, I knew they existed, but I was doing that just one specific style because of my comic, which is the recommendation. You need to keep things consistent. You don't want the reader to be confused. But just because of that, I was forgetting maybe obvious things. And the fact that it took so little compared to me making a comic page, because I guess making a comic page is indeed, you're doing like 8 drawings or more things in just one canvas before you say it's finished. So I'm excited to draw more. I feel like it's motivating to finish something. The more you finish, the more motivated you are. And then sometimes you struggle making a comic page because it takes so long to finish. Most people say that once you begin, it's easy, but the middle is hard. Yeah. So you do little strategies. I have certainly seen many comic authors making different strategies. For example, you should watch, maybe there's this channel called JGV, but it's basically Jasmine Illustration if you want to search for her. She has these very cool styles of planners. And something I copied from her because I thought it was cute is that she does like a whole layout of many rectangles that represent pages. And once she finishes each page, she fills it up. So if you ever saw me doing it, I took it from her. So little strategies like that, like extra celebration whenever you finish a page. However, finishing a page takes very long. So sometimes what I do in my own planner is I just fill out a box that this morning I drew. Doesn't mean that I needed to finish anything. I just drew. And that amount of time is already a success. I feel like I haven't talked enough about this story, about Winter Secrets, the story I'm drawing right now. The reason is because it's gonna take me so long that I'm even creating some Instagram posts that I'm not posting fully yet because I'm like, why do I build, like, I think to build hype is good, yes. But I don't want to use all of it now because it's not even available to read yet. So I guess you can subscribe to the Tapastic link because that's where I definitely will publish, and possibly in Webtoon one day. Or whatever platforms that like traditional formats. Haven't even... possibly the doc comics for sure. But I will worry about that later. Right now I'm just trying to establish a rhythm. I'm a mess. You know what? I should print some of the pages as reference instead of... Okay. I didn't put the chickens here. The reference... well, I'll add them later. Well, but this was a lot of fun. Curse Comic says, what is Elena doing in that panel? Imagining a fantasy world for Escape? 100% that's what's happening. Very good. Escape is the word. She has this attitude, oh, I guess I should remove this. This should be above the boxes, actually. What does she say? She's like, oh, before this, she was with art. I'm everywhere. I'm perfectly fine. She's basically saying she doesn't need anyone, even though she's completely alone. And honestly, part of me thinks that's cool. Nobody to interrupt your art. You can draw your story non-stop. I want to go to a cabin one day and just be with just myself, my boyfriend, reading a lot, creating, but for a period, not forever. Which is the difference between me and this character. She's like, I don't need nobody. Well, I will finish the live stream thing here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I will see you next Sunday or whatever, but you continue creating your projects and share whatever you want. If there's just 2, I will share to the live stream as well, which hopefully one day that will be relevant. I think it's cool to show what other people are creating as well. Thank you so much. Bye.